Welcome to our regular Q&A. You guys sent in your questions and I'm going to give you my honest answers. I broke my Daytona's glass and got it repaired by an AD. Would this make a decrease in watch value? If I am a buyer, would this stop me from purchasing it? Thanks. That's a really good question actually. So for me, if I was looking to buy a watch and obviously it'd been to Rolex to have some work done on it, that's not a negative in my opinion. It depends on the damage. Obviously glass broken, they do chip, they do scratch. I know people say, oh, it's sapphire crystal and glasses don't mark. They actually do, and we see a lot. So that's not the end of the world. Some guys, they might say, absolutely not, it's not for me. And obviously there's some people out there watching this who actually wouldn't disclose it. And again, there's nothing wrong in that. But for me, if you're having work like that done on your Rolex, you must send it to your Rolex AD to keep the warranty going if it's under warranty, and also the provenance of your watch. Next question, what is the average age of your buyers? Do you see a trend towards more younger buyers? Good question. We certainly do see more younger buyers coming through. Obviously, Rolex is the best marketed brand in the world, so people have that Rolex on their watch journey. Our average buyers at LWC, I would say is around about 30 to around about 60, and the sweet spot, I'd say 35 to 45. That's where most of our clients are. These are normally, to be honest with you, people who are business owners, people who are well-heeled, but we have all sorts of new clients and first clients at LWC. So I'd say slightly over the 30 and slightly below the 50 is where our clients' main age range is. Next question. Can you comment on your thoughts on the Deepsea GSC? Not seen it in your channel much. I'm thinking of investing, but would love to hear your take on it, mate. Cheers. Yeah, we absolutely love this watch at LWC. It's a very popular watch. For you guys that don't know, it's 44mm in size. It's got the beautiful blue and black dial. It's certainly one of those watches for the bigger guys. The new reference, the 1.3 reference, I'd say trades around the 14K, and the 1.2, which is the sweet spot for this range, around about the 12 to 13K. I actually really like the watch, and the clients that buy that absolutely love it. It's not talked about much just purely because of the size, and it takes out about 90% of the buyers, not because they don't like it, but just because it is such a big watch. It sits so deep, it's got a dome glass, and it's a big guy's watch. So you don't hear from much not because we don't like it, but just because of the size. Next question, what's happening with the prices and desirability of some of the recent discontinued dials, like the Datejust blue and green motif dials? That's a very good question. The blue motif and the green motif is a top tier dial. It certainly is one that was always chased. It always had the higher price. The prices are still the same online. If we've got this for sale for just around £10,000, just to let you guys know, and it's got the beautiful blue motif dial. What I will say about this particular model is when clients look to buy it and they compare it to a plain dial, for example, I have a blue dial here, yes, albeit not the same size, this is a 41. You can see the difference there, so they're identical in colour, but this is obviously a much busier looking dial. So the desirability is still there. People still do want to buy it more for collectability or because it's a top tier dial. But when it comes to buying to wear, the clients will always choose the plain dial over the motif, because when they actually come to view it and see it at the boutique and they are side by side, they will choose this one, the plain dial, 1,000,000%. How far away do you think we are from the ADs making certain pieces available straight away and even offering discounts on the full gold pieces that we can buy on the grey market for 10K cheaper? Very good question. Well, for you guys that follow the channel, you'll notice that we've actually been talking about this in our regular monthly market updates. And what we've been saying is the trends are changing. I would not be surprised if you were getting offered a discount on some of the really big pieces, the ones that the AD's shop windows are full of. So for me, and also the bundle deals, this is another thing that we've actually projected on the channel where, you know, in a few months' time, I wouldn't be surprised if ADs are actually bundling watches. What do I mean by that? Selling you a big piece that they're stuck with and giving you the GMT at the same time, just so they can relieve that. Ironically, we got a call from one of our clients saying he was offered one of the big Sky-Dwellers, which is a £39,000 piece, and he was actually offered a £3,000 discount, and that was only in the last couple of weeks. So I think it's a very good question. I think it's on trend. The market is changing, and I foresee over the next 6 or 12 months, ADs offering some of their clients discounts just to move the bigger pieces that they are stuck with in their safes and shop window. Oh, this is, I just read it actually. Seriously, at what price would you sell your Pikachu? Well, I've got to tell you, this watch is not for sale. And I'm not saying it for TV, I'm not saying it for the cameras or YouTube. It's just not for sale. Some things that money cannot buy. It's been too much of a journey for me. I feel it's part of me. I wear it every day. I've dailyed it for 2 years. You know, it's a watch that I will never ever sell. I will wear it for the rest of my life, and I will hopefully pass it down to my children. And for me, unfortunately, there's some things money cannot buy. And if I sold it, I'd always regret it, because for me, it's part of my YouTube journey. Next question. What was the Rolex or the watch that you dreamed about and gave you the passion for watches? That's a really good question, actually. When I first started in the industry in 2014, I used to always dream of having like the day, because for me, when I grew up, if you looked at anybody older, some sort of business owners or directors of companies, they always had the day, which was the 36mm model then, by the way. And this was a watch which I always thought, you know, because you got to remember, Rolex wasn't as widely known as it is now. It wasn't as like one of those watches that you can pick up at a younger age. You had to be older, you had to have achieved things in life, and that was sort of like a rubber seal to you being somebody, or certainly obtaining that sort of peace because you'd actually done well in life. So that was the one when I first started. I thought everybody used to wear bluesies, which is the steel and gold blue dial, and everybody used to wear the steel Submariners. But I always thought if you've got a day date, you'd made it. So for me, when I first started, it was the day date 36. What specific watch would you have if you couldn't have a Rolex? For me, if it wasn't a Rolex, it would have to be a Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet, actually. There's two watches I really like in the lineup. One is the AP Royal Oak 41mm non-chrono. The boutique blue, for me, I think that's the sweet spot. I know they've got the new green one, but for me, that's one I would choose. Or if I was in the Patek Philippe range, and I would choose Patek over Audemars, by the way, it would be the Aquanaut. It'd probably be the orange strap 5968A, and it has the beautiful orange hand on the dial, and that is like an elite. It's a steel watch. It's 42mm in size. It's a flyback movement, and for me, that would be the watch. Next question, ironically, which dial is best for the AP Royal Oak? For me, do you know, it's personal taste. I prefer the blue because it's the most sought after and it's the most pleasing to my eye, the boutique blue. But we actually had a silver, or white as they call it, dial in, and honestly, the boys in the back office were like, wow, that is a dial, and I thought it was so clean as well. So for me, the black one, you know, it's a little bit lost in that range personally. We don't get much requests for that. The grey one I've actually owned myself, and I absolutely love that watch, but I always wanted it to be the blue. But since seeing the white, it'd be the white dial or the blue dial, 1,000,000%. Next question, what advice would you give to someone looking to follow in your footsteps and become a dealer? I mean, that is such a big question. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I would say you have to have the passion, is the first thing I would say. You'd have to really want to do the job well. You know, you'd have to enjoy watches. I always believe if you don't believe in your products, you will never be the best at doing what you do. And if you genuinely enjoy the watch industry, or watches in particular, then, you know, they always say you never work another day in your life. But the advice I would give to you is, it's probably one of the hardest things you will ever do, is being in the watch industry. Everybody thinks you buy a watch, you know, you put it online, you sell it, and there's so many things more than that that you have to do. So for me, the advice I would say, only go into the watch industry if you really truly like watches, because the journey is so hard. It's took me 10 years organically from step one to where we are now. So for me, it's like, love it or don't bother. Are you going to be in Mad Max 3? I kind of think I know what that question is. Obviously, it's down to the actor that's in there. I forgot his name, actually. Yeah, so it's down to the actor Tom Hardy. Yeah, sign me up, ring me, call me. I'll be an extra. Appreciate the comment. We have had a few comments on the Tom Hardy comments. You know, that's a massive sort of like bonus for me personally, because obviously to be recognised or similar to somebody who is obviously as well known and well liked as Tom Hardy's a nice guy as well, which is always nice. So yeah, unfortunately not, but watch this space. And next question, would it be blasphemy to purchase an oyster bracelet to swap onto a Daytona Ghost? We get this question asked a lot. It's a good question. You can't actually put a bracelet on a Ghost, and I'll explain why. So this is an oyster flex strap. In fact, I'll show you on this one. This is a meteorite, so I'm just going to pop that one there. So this is an oyster flex Daytona. This has actually got the mother of pearl diamond dial. And what Rolex have cleverly done, and they are extremely clever at doing this, they've designed this so you cannot put another bracelet on it. And what do I mean by that? So if you look here, you can see the gold. So you got the polished bit, you've got the two satin bits, then you've got the two shoulders. That is all one, so that is one piece of case. On the other Rolex models, which we have here, so this is a bracelet I want to show you. This is the unbelievable meteorite Daytona, by the way. You can see here, so this actual end link, as we call it, that is part of the bracelet. So if I was to remove the bracelet off this watch, you've got the case here, you've got the two lugs, and then there's actually a gap in between. So that's where you can obviously swap bracelets over. But on this one, when you compare it to, that's already part of the actual case. So you cannot interchange bracelets. You cannot actually put a full gold bracelet on it, and only really you can go the other way. So if you wanted to put a rubber bracelet on that, you cannot get a genuine Rolex Oyster Flex, but you can go to a third-party company like Rubber Bee or Horus or other ones to name a few, and you can buy a third-party bracelet to put on that, but it will never be an Oyster Flex, and you cannot put the bracelet on it. I have a few Rolexes, and now looking at Patek, which model would you start with? Thanks. So yeah, good question. A lot of people are trying to move up the ladder to Patek Philippe, which, you know, I can't blame you. To give you guys an idea, Patek produce around 60,000 models a year. And that's obviously official figures. It'd be slightly more than that. Rolex 1.2 million or 1.25 million. Again, that's just like official figures. I think it's more than that. If it was me, I would go for Nautilus. I would go for the Aquanaut, and you've got many different variants. You've got the 5167A, which is the 40mm, then the 5164. These are both steel variants. Then you've got the rose gold on the Aquanauts. Then you've got the top tier, the 5968 steel, unbelievable watch. Then you've got the Nautiluses, so you can go for like a 5711, you can go for like a 5990, you can go 5980. You've got variants of obviously leather straps, you've got bracelets, you've got solid gold, you've got steels. But the top two models in Patek lineup, and the one that everybody chases, and they'll all take the Calatravas or get you up the list watches to get the Patek, is the Nautilus and the Aquanaut, 1,000,000%. Next question, for us across the pond in the US, what's the process of ordering a watch if pricing is different or just convert to US dollars? Are there air taxes and importation fees, shipping costs, etc, etc? Love the videos, thank you. Thank you for your question. We obviously ship a lot to the US. We can sometimes ship 2, 3, 4, or even 5 a week to our clients in the US. So for you guys watching, thank you. To give you an idea on the import tax, it depends on what state you're in. So it's between 4 and 8% on top of the purchase price. We will actually book all that in for you, so to let you guys know, we have a portal where we will actually take all your details, take the payment, we book it in on our system, we fill all the watch clock forms as they're called. So when the watch arrives, it normally takes between 2 and 3 working days for the watch from us sending it to get into US customs. You'll get an alert to pay the import duties, and you get the watch either the same day or the following day, and that's lit from start to finish. And like I said to you, when you look at the import duties and then you look at them compared to us importing, it's absolutely minimal to what we pay in the UK. Next question, if I buy a new top-end Rolex and it was offered to you, what percentage would you deduct if the sticker had been removed compared to one that is fully stickered? Another very good question. So fully stickered used to be a thing years ago. We were always known for selling fully stickered watches. We still buy them, we still sell them. We get quite a lot of stickers now, 50%, 60% stickers, case backs, inner clasps, outer clasp, some around the crown guards, some even on the side of the case. For me, I've always had, or we've had the client base for fully stickered watches, but the trends have changed. People are now wanting to wear their watches regardless of the long-term investment value. So we've even had clients de-stickering very collectible, discontinued pre-ceramic Daytonas because they want to wear it. So that's a sign of times, and for me, that is an extremely good sign, because that is what watches are for, to be worn. But to answer your question, how much would I deduct if it had been de-stickered? Hardly anything in the current market. There used to be sort of like £1,000, £2,000 for a fully stickered, unworn, you know, guaranteed genuine unworn watch. There's hardly minimum. That might just be a few £100s. So for me, don't worry about it. If you've got a fully stickered watch, wear it, enjoy it, and that is what the watch industry is all about. Hope you enjoyed this video. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.